Hello, and thank you for joining us for this Edward Jones Financial Fitness webinar, Building Financial Literacy as a Family. My name is Sandy Miller. Before we get going, let me highlight a few of the features on your screen that we're going to be using. On your screen right now, you should already see a video window with me inside. There should be another window with our presentation slides and a third window for our Q&A feature. If for some reason you have any difficulty during the program, you can click on the help icon at the bottom of your screen. That's the black question mark inside the yellow circle. This is for any technical questions you may have. For those watching live, we also have a team on standby ready to assist you if at any time during our discussion you have a question or would like clarification on a point. Just click on the Q&A icon, which is the third button from the left at the bottom of your screen. That will allow you to send in your questions. We will do our best to answer your questions in the allotted time we are given. If your question is not answered, please follow up with your Edward Jones Financial Advisor. If you do not have an Edward Jones Financial Advisor, please click on the Find an FA widget below. We also have a lot of helpful resources and information available for you inside the Resources icon, which is located next to the Q&A icon. And for those who wish to utilize it, closed captioning is available and can be turned on or off at any time during this webinar by clicking on the closed captioning icon. All right, now that you know your way around, let's get started. We all know the importance of financial education, and the majority of Americans recognize it's crucial to prioritize as part of education. In fact, an Edward Jones survey found that an astounding 90% of Americans consider financial education to be important. But there's a massive disconnect where we expect to receive this education. Many parents put that responsibility on schools, while teachers put the responsibility back on parents. What we can all agree on is the importance of financial knowledge for young people. A recent Edward Jones study found that nearly half of Americans were 25 years or older when they gained the majority of their education on the topic. In this webinar, Edward Jones principal Vanessa Okuraiwe will share insights on how financial education can be accessible to everyone and share resources for people to increase their overall financial wellness. Vanessa, thank you so much for joining us. Before we dive into the topic at hand, can you tell us a little bit more about the survey that I referenced?
Thank you for having me, Sandy, and happy to share more details. In our poll of more than 2,000 adults, as you mentioned, 9 in 10 Americans consider financial education to be important, but more than a quarter still lack confidence in their financial knowledge. We also found that many Americans don't learn about managing their finances until adulthood, with only 20% of our survey respondents reporting they learned about financial education in school, and 18% never received an education on finances at any age. This data underscores the massive opportunity and critical need for earlier and more extensive education around personal finance.
So interesting, Vanessa. Can you expand more on that opportunity and the solutions to meet this education gap?
Well, developing greater financial education starts by introducing young people to key personal finance concepts prior to their adulthood. Our data demonstrates that knowledge builds confidence. For example, roughly 60% of Americans believe they would be more confident in their financial situation with a better understanding of debt management. So it's our goal to empower individuals with knowledge to secure their financial futures. And that's why I am very excited to share more about the Edward Jones Financial Fitness Program. It's a free digital education platform that provides students and adults of all ages with the tools to build their financial knowledge and confidence. The Financial Fitness Program offers over 40 modules on topics including financial caregiving, budgeting, and developing emergency savings. Since 2020, our financial fitness program has educated more than 500,000 individuals, which means that we're halfway towards our goal of reaching 1 million learners by the end of 2025. Now, in partnership with EverFi, we offer the financial fitness program in schools across the United States. And I'm very happy to share that during the 2022-2023 school year alone, the program reached more than 90,000 students in over 2,000 schools. 51% of those schools are high need, and that means that they serve communities with higher poverty rates. Students who completed the program grew their knowledge by 42% on average, and with that comes greater confidence in their financial futures. 86% of students said that after taking the course, they're likely to invest in the stock market. Now, these success metrics are incredible, especially considering the ease, the straightforwardness, and low-time investments that the program requires. As part of our financial fitness program, we're excited to introduce the EdWords of Wisdom platform, EdWow for short, and that highlights the importance of financial education and the benefits of investing in your own financial wellness. EdWow is a platform designed with 18 to 33-year-olds in mind, and it uses select modules from the Financial Fitness Library that will help audiences in that age range increase their financial acumen. The EdWow platform is a great resource to share with those young adults in your life who might be interested in building their financial understanding. With the new launch of EdWow, we're hoping that we can help even more people increase their financial knowledge. You all can see the value of the program and the insight that it brings today, and I am thrilled to be sharing more with you. We're actually going to walk through one of the modules together.
We're excited to learn more. What is the module you'll be discussing today?
Well, we're going to focus on building financial knowledge as a family. This is one of the modules that's available on the EdWow website. If you'd like to review this module or any of the other modules with your family members after today's session, you can find a link to the module in the resources widget that's located at the bottom of the screen. Studies have shown that people are more comfortable talking with friends and family about topics like marital discord, addiction, and even politics rather than money. Although conversations about money can be stressful, proactive discussions can help increase financial education and encourage open dialogue for both children and their parents. Before getting into specific financial topics and strategies to bring up in family conversations, it is important to ask yourself about your own feelings about discussing money and how you approach that with your family.
We're going to run through 4 questions to kind of help you gauge this. The first question is, how often do you speak to your children about financial topics like saving, earning, spending, investing, or borrowing money?
Yes, that is a really important question. And the sooner we start forming these habits, Sandy, with our kids, the better.
Next, how reluctant are you to discuss financial matters with your children?
Another really great question. I would encourage parents, guardians, grandparents to keep asking these questions as early as possible to their kids.
And the next question is, how confident are you in your own financial capability?
Another good question, Sandy. Another one I would encourage parents and guardians to keep asking the questions to the children because it builds the right habits in them very early on.
And Vanessa, finally, how prepared are you to speak with your children about financial matters?
Sandy, I can't say any more to that. It's another really good question, and I would encourage us to start asking our kids those questions as soon as possible, and it demystifies the whole topic of financial acumen and financial education in the home.
Good point. Now that we've level set and participants understand how they currently speak to their families about finances and how confident they are in their financial capabilities, Vanessa, can you talk more about building some fundamental financial habits?
Absolutely. Now, trying to figure out which financial habits to focus on with your partner, your spouse, children, or other family members may feel overwhelming. One way to think about such a big topic is by breaking these habits into 4 main categories. Earning. Whether as a parent, a spouse, a partner, caregiver, or child, understanding how money is earned in a household is key to many family conversations. Second, borrowing. While unmanageable debt is something we would all like to avoid, borrowing money can be a recurring financial event throughout life, whether it's borrowing from parents for a small purchase as a child or applying for a car loan for the very first time. Understanding borrowing is an important contributor to financial health. Third, spending and saving. One of the keys to financial health is understanding the concept of putting aside the income needed to make purchases related to both needs and wants. Talking about both spending and saving as one topic can be helpful so that family members understand that in order to spend, you need to save. And last, financial decision making. In addition to talking to your family about big financial decisions, such as making a large purchase or contributions to a savings account, this is a skill that can be developed through modeling positive financial behavior. As a member of any family, doing your part to make responsible choices can have a profound impact on others.
That's a really helpful breakdown, Vanessa. It makes it much more manageable to think about. Can you share more about how parents can break these concepts down by age group for those who have younger children versus older children?
I can exactly do that. Approaching these topics differently by age is so important because it will ensure the concepts resonate and make sense on a developmental level. One strategy is to connect common events or behaviors that may start happening during each age as an opportunity to teach and discuss financial habits. For those with kids aged 3 to 5 years old, earning. Explain how and when they can earn money, like an allowance or from gifts. When it comes to borrowing, describe the difference between what it means to borrow and what it means to own. Explain why it's important to return borrowed items, like at the library. Spending and saving. Set a savings goal for a specific purchase, such as a new toy, a gift for a friend, a vacation, or an upcoming holiday. Financial decision making. Help a parent or a caregiver make a decision about when and when not to spend money on a purchase. For those with kids aged 6 to 12 years old, identify jobs or tasks that children can do to earn money and learn the difference between a wage and a salary in relation to an allowance. Next, when it comes to borrowing, identify situations when people pay for certain items in small amounts over time and explain the benefits and disadvantages of using credits. Spending and saving. Create a weekly savings plan and explain how savings is important to meeting long-term goals. Also, consider opening a savings account for your child. When it comes to financial decision making, predict the consequences of spending decisions. For those with kids aged 13 to 21 years old, calculate the future income needed to maintain a desired standard of living and the impact of working a part-time or a full-time job. Borrowing. Describe various ways to borrow money, the importance of building a credit history and college financing options, such as student loans. Spending and saving. Explain concepts such as investing, compound interest, inflation. Create a plan to prioritize expenses, manage spending, and meet goals. Financial decision making. Discuss how individual responsibility for financial well-being will change as life circumstances change.
What a great way to approach conversations with your children, regardless of their age. Now, how can they start applying this information?
There are many opportunities to put this into practice with life lessons, Sandy, and big events that happen naturally in life. Let's talk through some of those age-appropriate opportunities to work on building financial skills. For those with kids aged 3 to 5 years old, you can work with them on identifying and learning the value of coins and bills, sorting money for spending and saving, depositing and withdrawing money from the bank. I take my kids to the bank. Learning rules and expectations regarding shopping and paying for purchases. You can compare costs to determine if something costs more or less. That's a simple thing to do for the younger kids. For those kids who are ages 6 to 12, you can work with them on opening a savings account, depositing money and monitoring interest, earning and spending an allowance, creating a budget for a purchase that requires saving. For those kids who are a bit older, 13 to 21 years old, you can work with them on saving for college, saving to live on their own, applying for and paying for student loans, buying a car, building credit history.
Great advice. We've covered a lot of ground on this topic today. What are the most important things for us to remember?
There are 3 big points I'd like to reiterate. Money matters can be sensitive. When you're having conversations with your family on this topic, speak plainly. Consider the emotional connection and the symbolic value that children form with money when you discuss financial issues. Age matters. Real-time education is more effective and meaningful to children, so plan your conversations with children to be timely and appropriate. Practice, practice, practice. Seize opportunities in your daily life and your relationship with the children to speak openly about money and create those teachable moments.
Vanessa, we really appreciate your time today. Any final thoughts you want to share before we wrap up?
It's crucial for families, both young people and adults, to develop their financial education to navigate financial circumstances that are going to occur throughout their lives. We know this not only leads to increased overall financial knowledge, but it leads to greater financial wellness. I hope that the module we discussed, along with the other EdWords resources, will be helpful for you as a stepping stone to achieving greater financial education for yourself and for your family. So please visit wisdom.edwardjones.com to increase your financial wellness. And if you need help determining what the right first step is, or how to have those conversations with your family, reach out to your financial advisor for help.
Vanessa, thank you for joining us today and for sharing these valuable insights. We appreciate it. As I mentioned earlier, we have several resources that we hope will help you during this time. Be sure to check them out by going to the resource icon on your screen. We're now going to start the Q&A portion of the program. We have a team of subject matter experts waiting online to answer your questions through the Q&A widget. Please remember that there will not be any video during this portion. You will only see a slide prompting you that the Q&A is now in session. Rest assured the webinar is still live. We will do our best to answer your questions during the allotted time. If your question is not answered, please follow up with your Edward Jones financial advisor. If you do not have an Edward Jones financial advisor, please click on the Find an FA widget below. I also want to remind you that this broadcast will be available again on demand using the same link you used to register for today's program. Please note our upcoming webinar as well. Thanks again for joining us, and please enjoy the rest of your day.